took you so long? Get in.
The seaside town of Seabrook, Oregon, was wrapped in the silver fog of an early morning tide. Inside the Harbor Light Café, Liam Porter rubbed the grease off his hands with a napkin that would never be white again. He was 33, a diesel mechanic who fixed fishing boats, trucks, and sometimes broken dreams. He wasn't used to cafes like this, all warm lighting, quiet jazz, and croissants that cost more than he made in an hour. But his older sister, Hannah, had insisted, "Liam, she's perfect for you. Trust me, window seat, wearing a yellow scarf." Liam sighed and checked his phone again. Then, through the foggy glass, he spotted her. A woman with dark hair tied in a bun, her yellow scarf glowing like sunlight in the grey morning. She sat by the window, sipping tea, lost in thought. "All right, Hannah," he muttered. "Let's see what you've done to me this time." He walked over, heart thumping. "Hi," he said with a nervous smile. "I'm Liam. You must be—" The woman blinked, startled. "Oh, I think you might be mistaken." Liam frowned. "You're not expecting a blind date?" She smiled, amused. "No, actually, I'm waiting for my father. He's always late." Liam's face turned red. "Ah, sorry. My mistake. Wrong table." But she laughed. A soft, melodic sound that carried over the hum of the cafe. "Don't worry about it. Sit if you'd like. I could use the company until he arrives." He hesitated, then shrugged. "Sure. I mean, since I'm already making a fool of myself." "I'm Sophie Alden," she said, extending a hand. "Liam Porter, mechanic, professional wrong table sitter." She chuckled. "That's a very specific profession." He grinned. "Pays terribly." They both laughed, and the awkwardness melted. The air between them felt easy, natural, as if two strangers had stumbled into the right silence. They started talking about small things: coffee, the ocean, the unpredictable weather. Sophie asked what kind of mechanic work he did. "Mostly the kind that smells like diesel and disappointment," he said with a grin. "But it keeps the boats running. The sea doesn't forgive broken engines." She smiled. "You sound like a poet pretending to be a mechanic." "Trust me," he said. "The only thing I write is repair bills." He noticed she shifted occasionally in her chair, carefully, as though moving too fast might hurt. Then when she reached for her cup, the sleeve of her coat slid up, revealing a thin brace on her wrist. Her hands trembled slightly. Sophie saw his eyes flick down. Instead of hiding it, she said calmly, "A car accident. 3 years ago. Partial nerve damage." Liam's eyes softened. "That sounds rough." "It was," she said. "Still is. But you learn to live differently. You learn who stays, and who only like the easy version of you." That hit something deep in him. He looked at her, really looked, and said quietly, "The hard version of you seems a lot stronger." She smiled, but there was something fragile in it. You'd be surprised how few people say that without pity. They talked until the cafe's morning rush began to fade. When a tall man in a tailored coat entered, her father clearly, the air changed. His polished shoes, his sharp tone. "Sophie," he said. "I was worried. You didn't answer my texts." "I was busy," she replied lightly, "talking to a new friend." Her father's eyes flicked to Liam, scanning him like a problem to solve. "A friend." "Liam Porter," Liam offered, standing. "Mechanic down by the docks. Sat at the wrong table." Her father didn't shake his hand. "Ah, I see." The silence stretched. Sophie rolled her eyes. "Dad, please, don't interrogate the man." Mr. Alden gave a thin smile. "Of course not. Enjoy your tea, dear." When he walked off to take a call, Sophie leaned closer and whispered, "Sorry, he's protective, thinks the world owes him control." Liam smirked. "He'd hate my shop then. It's all chaos." "That might be why I like it already," she said. When they finally parted, she scribbled something on her napkin. "In case you ever sit at the wrong table again," she teased. The next day, he called, and the next week, they met again. And before long, the wrong table became their table. They met at the same spot every Friday, sharing coffee, stories, laughter that made strangers look twice. Liam found himself opening up in ways he hadn't in years, about the loneliness of fixing things no one noticed, about the guilt of a childhood spent trying to fill his father's shoes. Sophie listened, really listened, and when she spoke of rebuilding, muscles, confidence, and dreams she thought she'd lost. She told him she worked as a rehabilitation architect, designing accessible homes and spaces for people with disabilities. "I can't climb mountains anymore," she said, "but I can make them easier for someone else." "You're incredible," he said, and meant it, but not everyone saw it that way. Her father's disapproval grew sharper with every meeting. "Sophie," he said one night, "this man, he fixes boats. He's not your world." She sighed. "Maybe that's the point." Then came the storm. The kind of Pacific storm that doesn't ask permission, it just takes. Waves smashed against the docks. Liam's workshop flooded, water swallowing everything he'd built with his hands. He stood knee-deep in salt water, trying to save what he could, when headlights cut through the downpour. Sophie's van. She stepped out clutching a raincoat too big for her frame, hair plastered to her face. "What are you doing here?" he shouted. "Helping!" she yelled back. She rolled up her sleeves, brace and all, and started moving boxes with surprising strength. Then, with soaked hair and trembling hands, she grabbed his shoulder. "You always fix things for everyone else, Liam. Let me fix something with you." He froze, then smiled. "All right, but only if you don't tell anyone I let you outwork me." By dawn, the water receded. The workshop was a mess, but standing. Her father arrived mid-morning expecting ruin and stopped dead at the sight of Sophie, soaked to the bone, directing volunteers like a general. "Sophie," he said, stunned. She turned, eyes fierce but joyful. "Told you I'm not made of glass." Liam, beside her, looked at him and said quietly, "You raised one hell of a fighter, sir." For the first time, the old man's expression softened. "Yes, I suppose I did." A week later, Liam rebuilt his workshop, with a new door, a new sign, and a ramp that he refused to let anyone else install. When it was done, he invited Sophie over. The shop smelled of new wood and sea salt. A small table stood in the center, candles, coffee mugs, and a single wrench, cleaned and polished. Sophie smiled. "You've outdone yourself." He took a breath. "You once said strength isn't about never breaking. It's about rebuilding anyway. I think you rebuilt me." Then, kneeling so they were eye to eye, he held out a small silver ring crafted from an engine washer. "Sophie Alden, will you let me spend my life proving that love doesn't need fixing, only faith?" Tears filled her eyes. "Yes. Always yes." They married in the spring, on the docks where it all began. The sea shimmered. Seagulls cried overhead. Mr. Alden walked his daughter down the aisle, pride softening his once stern face. When he gave her hand to Liam, he whispered, "You see her. That's all I ever wanted." At the reception, Liam raised his glass. "Sometimes," he said, voice steady, "you sit at the wrong table, in the wrong place, at the wrong time. And somehow, it's exactly where life was trying to lead you." Sophie squeezed his hand. The wind carried laughter over the water, and everyone knew it wasn't just a love story, it was a reminder. The strongest hearts are the ones that refuse to give up on living, even when life changes the map. Mensagem final, para video. Real love doesn't fix what's broken. It helps you build something even stronger in its place.